And welcome back, folks. And today, well, I had to address this article came across my phone last night that I just had to scratch my head because it appears that no matter how much we scream, these automakers, and now including Ford, don't want to listen to the customer. They don't want to pay attention to what we're all saying. And I'm going to start off with just letting the cat right out of the bag. The reason why car sales are so off and so hard to comprehend at this point based on trends is because everything is too friggin' expensive in today's interest rate market. And I'm going to just lead in with this. Look at the basic principle of affordability is when interest rates were artificially dropped to ridiculous lows during COVID, it caused everything, and lots of money was flushed in the economy, it caused everything to go up in value. Well, today, people still buy payment with cars. So the reason why the markets are all screwed up right now is we've got a Fed chairman that's sitting on his hands, will not reduce the interest rates using old archaic examples of mathematical principles and finance principles as to the reason why he's not doing it, when I believe that it's political, no matter how you cut it, because when you artificially dropped rates that low, you screwed up the economy because everything had to go up in price because it could, because you could finance it cheaper. Hell, small business loans, every kind of financing available was really, really cheap, which meant products could easily go up, and the automakers figured it out. Just keep raising our prices and keep offering 2% interest rates, and people will buy payment, and we could make more money. Yet, every automaker said, but wages aren't going up, and that's why car sales are slow. Okay, that's true. So then why did you raise prices so high? Then interest rates went up. And now here we are sitting in a car market where you can't trade your car in because you're upside down in it because you overpaid for it before, and nobody's buying cars because the prices are way too high. And then they forced EVs on us, which are ridiculously expensive and most people can't afford them, with massive depreciation. So if you did buy or lease one, you ended up buried in that thing so deeply that you had to fulfill the term of the financing, which is oftentimes long now. Even credit unions started going, 72, 96 months, 84 months, ridiculous length, so people can't get out. Yet, Ford now comes out and they say this stupid thing. And you'll see how it relates right now, because we saw this movie with Carlos Tavares, and this is the stupidity. And I was really thinking, and I really hope that Ford knows better, because Ford was the last bastion of hope, because they were hanging on. They were still building the V8s, but they're confused because they didn't sell as many as they sold before because they're sitting on the lots. Well, here's why. You didn't drop the prices when interest rates went up. See, you raised the prices when interest rates went down, but you didn't drop the prices when rates went up. That's how this works. Rates go up, you're going to have to drop the prices if you want to move those, because guess what? The same rule applies that applied before during COVID is people buy payment. Somebody's going to comment, but I pay cash my cars. Good for you. Nobody cares. I'm talking about overall the grand scheme of things, the macro numbers, not you sitting in your house right now counting your pennies and saying, I wait and save up my money and I pay cash for my car. Good for you. The rest of the world, they're buying on payment. It just is what it is. And when rates went up, automakers needed to reduce prices or build cheaper cars. And guess what? They keep building more expensive cars. While Ford seems to be a steal when you look at the Mustang prices, you want a 5.0, $50,000, it seems great. Not at 10, 11, 12% interest with somebody who's not got the most perfect credit or actually has a few credit cards and is an average human being. So you got to sit on an 800 FICO score to try to get 5 or 6% interest? That's ridiculous. Even if they offer 0% financing at this point, based on the current fears in the economy and overall inflation everywhere, they can't afford that car. So just dropping the interest rate down to 0 and offering a promotional program so they can buy that car at a low interest rate doesn't get the car to sell, because generally the 0 down financing is only for 3 years, and at the very most, I don't even know if I've seen this, 4 years. Rarely do you see that apply to a 5-year loan, because no bank wants to have their money hanging out that long. So all that happens is you end up with a payment on a 3-year loan with 0% interest, if that special exists, Same as the payment on a 5 or 6 year loan with an interest rate. So people aren't buying the cars because they're just too expensive. And here I am with a fleet of ridiculous cars, and I feel that way. So here's the deal, and I will tell you, I will admit this: I earn a really good living, a really good living. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to come off in any other way. I just want to make the point that if I feel this way, then they've gone out of control, because I'm looking at cars. I look at cars, and it's just every day I look at cars. It's what I do on YouTube, and the prices are just too damn high. So automakers need to figure out how to get the prices down, because the prices coming down on, regardless whether it's gas or electric cars, if they get the prices low enough, they will find a market where buyers will start buying again like crazy. But if they keep fighting for these massive prices, they're not going to be able to. But Brad, what about the tariffs? I don't care. Look at the P&L and the balance sheets of most of these companies. They're sitting on billions, if not hundreds of billions of dollars in liquid cash. They're sitting on generally billions of dollars in cash, and they ended last year and the year before and the year before and the year before and the year before making billions, if not hundreds of millions, worst case, but billions of dollars selling cars. But today, this clown, let me show you what he said here. This clown, this Ford executive says, and it's not Farley, teases the end of a classic car feature. It teases the end of a classic car feature and says drivers aren't interested, but fans blast out of touch plan. Well, yes, we are going to blast that. And I'm going to blast that right now, because this is exactly what Tavares thought. He used to say, people want affordable mobility in an electric vehicle. And we're screaming, no, they don't. We want affordable mobility in a convenient vehicle. Convenience cannot be underrated. And for those you can charge in your home, your beautiful home you've owned for 20 years, or that you bought, good for you. But millions and millions, hundreds of millions, probably people out there can't charge, can't put solar panels on their house, live in apartment complexes. They can't charge the way you can. So it is a significant inconvenience to go electric, no matter how you cut it. Even for me, because I drive a lot, it would be an inconvenience to go electric. I don't have the time to sit at charging stations, and I can't fight with my wife about the spot in the garage to be able to hook up to the Tesla charger, which we have because it came with the house. But here's what he's saying. The thing he's saying, the classic car feature, I just hate journalists. Everywhere in the news right now is just baloney. But here's the deal. Ford's vice chair, John Lawler, recently declared that consumer interest in traditional combustion engines is waning. No, it's not that. It's not that. It's everything's too damn much money. We just can't buy these things. See, you kept the V8s going, but you did not reduce the prices. So here's the deal. The market changed, and now people aren't going to go buy a V8. And by the way, gas is expensive if you're in places like California and other, 13 states that have ridiculous gas prices. So people can't afford them. That's all. Get the prices down in the 30s for a 5.0 Mustang, and you might have people lined up around the corner. But I can tell you, if you think you're going to switch to EVs even more at Ford, you're going to learn the Tavares lesson. And if I was Farley, I would be firing this clown right now. The era of combustion engines defining vehicles may be nearing its end as consumer interest shifts to design, safety, and tech features over horsepower and torque. Wait a minute, back up. Torque is a key feature in an electric vehicle, so I don't even know why he would say that. This shows how little he knows. Pretty much any EV is going to have more torque than an average gas vehicle, and more horsepower in many cases. But okay, this guy's just confirming his idiocy. So let's go down here. Ford Vice Chair Lawler claims drivers no longer prioritize traditional powertrains, marking a significant shift in how vehicles are valued. If he really believes this, and Ford listens to this guy, they're screwed. Ford faces criticism as it balances preserving iconic features like the Mustang's V8 engines against increasing regulations and the rise of electric vehicles. The rise is not there. Let me show you something. We'll come back to this. Ford, this is in 2025, okay, talking about Q4 profit. While it's up, they still project mounting EV losses. They still can't make, and Ford was early in with the Mach-E, they still can't figure out how to make that thing make them anywhere near the amount of money that they made with gas cars that were priced for less money back in the day, just a few years ago. GM layoffs sparked one of EV shoppers' frustrations over availability and demand challenges. Rivian is losing so much money that it's almost obnoxious how much it loses per car. Here it is. Rivian lost around $39,130 per vehicle in Q3 last year, up from $32,700 per vehicle in the second quarter. In Q1, Rivian lost more than $38,700 per vehicle delivered. I hate to say it, Rivian's a cool car, but the amount of money that they have been burning is ridiculous. Still losing hundreds of millions of dollars and no end in sight. And how about this? Lucid loses $300,000 for every car sold last year. VinFast went down in flames. Polestar had to get another $450 million loan amid weak demand and delayed earning reports. I can keep going. Hyundai, I think, figured out how to be profitable. So great job, Hyundai. They figured it out. Nobody else has figured it out. They figured it out. But you got to drive a Hyundai. Not a bad car. I mean, they've come a long way. But I'm not driving a Hyundai. There's nothing you could do to get me to get in a Hyundai either. You've got the chairman of Toyota who could flip a switch, snap his fingers, and just go all EV tomorrow and probably be profitable faster than anybody. So it's not him not wanting to do it for financial reasons. He could make it work. While the industry's gradual transition to electric power might be considered the reason for many, Lawler believes people simply don't care as much as they once did what powers a vehicle. He is so ridiculously wrong. Even if they don't care what powers the vehicle, they do care about convenience. All right, many users on social media were aghast at the thought, with one commenter writing, "New cars are considered appliances because they are." Another wrote, shows how out of touch the vice chairman of Ford is. No wonder they can't come out with a winning formula anymore since ditching all their money-making vehicles. Well, how about this? And a third cynically said, the entire auto industry has worked to turn vehicles into transportation appliances, and most buyers now treat them as such. So they talk more about the SUV trend, which, by the way, nothing new. It's been around forever. So bottom line is, Ford, stop this man. Make sure he's not involved in anything. And just before you go burn more hundreds of millions of dollars or hundreds or billions of dollars developing more and more EVs that nobody wants to buy, just get your prices right. Take that money and have a couple lean years. Whatever automaker decides to go ahead and just go lean and just tell Wall Street, hey, we're going to just take over the market. We're not going to make as much, but that's the problem. Wall Street's going to just punish them so badly. But we're going to make less money, and we're going to sell a whole boatload of cars, and which is going to fill up our dealerships with service bays and maintenance and all that other stuff, and drive tons and tons of profit to the company because we'll make it up on volume. They're going to win. And I'm hoping Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram catches on to that under Filosa and gets their prices right. I mean, it seems like they're trying, but they're still also not willing to let go some of that profit because they can't tell us they're not making a bunch of money on each car, but they're not on the EVs. And the word on the street is that the Daytonas are going to be dropping again in price, that these things will be going down even more because they've not sold enough of them to be able to qualify for any of the EV credits, and the dealers are preparing for that new price reduction, which means maybe they'll come to California at the super low lease deals, and I'll pick one up and provide you all with some entertainment. So let me know what you think about this. I'm going to call him what he is, dumbass who's thinking nobody cares about engines, even if they're not gas lovers or combustion engine lovers. They're just convenience lovers. Convenience is everything in this world where we're all way too busy taking care of our families, working, and just trying to stay afloat. So with that, please like, subscribe, comment, share your thoughts below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.